What up investors, it's your boy Dayo. Welcome to Frunkla Investment, where I talk about Bionano Genomics on a daily basis. From Sunday to Sunday, I try to post at least one video. Always do your own due diligence. Don't sue me, bro. Let's get to it. What's going on, investors? Welcome back to Frunkla. So in this video, I am going to be sharing three major things with you guys that I believe you should pay attention to. Okay, if you want to see some profit in your portfolio before you buy the dip, I want you guys to pay attention to three major things that the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jay Powell, spoke about. And the video lasted about over 1 hour because I was live streaming it, and he made mention of a lot of things that I believe investors as increased the confidence of investor in the Federal Reserve. So I think investors are going to be paying attention to these three major things that I want to talk about in this video. Okay, and this is going to be shaping the stock market going forward till the end of this year. Okay, and the first thing is demand versus supply. According to Jay Powell, demand is very high. It is higher than supply, and until supply and demand more or less equals out, he believes they are going to stay hawkish, and he believes inflation is possibly going to stay high, and there is also a possibility that they are going to keep increasing the interest rates. They are going to keep hiking the interest rates until demand meets supply. And you guys have to understand that we have a lot of factors that are affecting supply right now. Okay, the first one is of course the zero policy, the zero C-19 policy in China, which of course is forcing China to close on the seaport at Shanghai, for example. And another one is also the war between Ukraine and Russia that is presently going on, and it is affecting the price of food, for example. And so he spoke about that they want to see demand and supply coming together before they can at least stop more or less increasing the interest rate, and of course they are going to stop tightening the financial market. Okay, quantitative tightening, and perhaps that is when we are going to start to see quantitative easing. Okay, because that is after the ease quantitative, I believe that is when most of all these stocks that have been destroyed literally are going to rally massively. Okay, the likes of Bionano Genomics that is down about 50% or over 40% year to date, that is when I believe we are going to see a massive rally. So that is the first thing that you guys have to pay attention to. He also spoke about the labor market. Okay, that they want to see the labor market, that the labor market is super strong right now, and he made mention that for every one person that is more or less looking for a job or able to work right now, there are two jobs out there. They want to make sure that one job is for one person, more or less. That is what he's saying. So that means the labor market right now is very strong. Okay, we have to see the labor market more or less cooling off a little bit, and more or less like companies have to start to lay off some workers. Okay, they have to stop employing like they are presently employing like crazy, which of course is going to more or less ease the wage pressure that we are seeing right now, because wages is more or less skyrocketing because a lot of people there are a lot of options out there for jobs, and yeah, so he wants to see wages wage pressure it has to calm down, and so that is also still under the first thing that I want to mention, under demand and supply. Now that is of course one of the reasons why they they decided to increase the interest rate by 75 basis points instead of 50 basis points. And another good thing that made the market to rally today that I also need to talk about in this video is for the next meeting, according to Jay Powell. Okay, once the CPI data for June comes in next month, and for example this month for last month the CPI data is 8.6%. okay, if the CPI data for next month comes in higher than expected, then he said they have the option to increase the next interest rate by 75 basis points. But if it comes as expected by investors, analysts, or whatever, then there is that option of 50 basis points still on the table. So right now they are not decided. They are in between 50 basis points and 75 basis points. But if the CPI data comes in next month, the June CPI data comes in next month, and it's more or less higher than expected. For example, let's say they are expecting like 8.6 again next month, and then it comes in about 9%. There is still a possibility that they are going to be hiking the interest rate by 100 basis points. And I think that is good for the market because investors want to be certain that Fed are able to handle the situation, okay, because inflation has gotten out of hand. Now, the second thing that is affecting the market right now, according to Jay Powell, is the price of oil. Okay, the price of oil and food, and according to him, that is of course not in the hands of the Fed. There is nothing they can do with energy prices because this has to do with more or less OPEC, the war that is going on between Russia and Ukraine, and so on and so forth. So according to him, they are also monitoring oil and food prices. And um to talk about oil, I believe if we start to see the price of oil, for example, comes below 100 US dollars, I think that is going to be very good, okay, for inflation. If we see the price of oil coming, that's of course one of the reasons why I monitor oil prices every day on a daily basis. If oil drops below 100 US dollars, I believe this is going to be good for the market. And the Fed inflation is going to calm down, and of course Fed is not going to go crazy and keep hiking the interest rates, which of course may still lead to deflation in the long run. Now, the third one that he spoke about is of course Russia versus Ukraine, and that's of course out of the hands of the Fed. Also, they cannot do anything about it. And another thing that I am more or less worried about when he started to speak about Russia versus Ukraine is there seems to be no end in sight. Okay, I mean, according to him, they are prepared for anything, and according to him, there is a possibility that this war between Russia and Ukraine is going to last longer than the ending of this year. And that got me worried. It means if Russia and Ukraine war continues, it means energy prices is going to remain elevated, perhaps not above 100 US dollars. Okay, if we see the price of oil, if it comes below 100 US dollars, this is going to be manageable. Okay, I mean, it's not going to make inflation to go crazy. I think it can be manageable. So what we just have to focus on right now is the price of oil coming down, which of course is going to drop the price of food as well. And more or less, inflation is going to calm down, and finally, Fed can manage it, and they can get everything under control. And according to them, what they are planning till the end of this year is about 3.5%. Okay, till the end of the year. And it used to be about 2 point something percent, but because of the CPI data that came in last week, they have increased it about for about 1%. So financial conditions right now have tightened. That is a good news, and they are going to keep monitoring it to the end of summer. And he also made the J Powell, made mention of a new world. Okay, he called it new world. New world. That's more or less where we are right now, where everything is more or less, presidential. We have higher, we have inflation getting out of hand. We have the C-19 virus still, more or less going on in the likes of China, for example, which is leading to, supply chain bottleneck. And then, we have the oil prices, okay, oil and food, prices. And then we have this demand higher than supply. Okay, consumers are still very strong right now, according to Jay Powell. They still have a lot of money, okay, and they are still going crazy with shopping. So we want to see that more or less coming down, and I think that is it. Now let's talk about the market. As you guys can see, the market rallied today. Okay, we saw money flowing out of the energy sector a little bit today, and then more or less flowing into all the sector. I spoke a little bit extensive about the market in my live stream. For those of you that missed the stream, you can go and check it out. It's over 1 hour video. Okay, so Illumina today more or less rallied a little bit, and then Pac Bio also rallied a little bit because these two guys are more or less what I am monitoring. And then Bionano Genomics today closed more or less green, but not really massively green. But it's still good that we were able to find a bottom. There is a bottom. I'm trying to look for Bngo, but it's always close to impossible to find this ticker in this tiny this right here is the diagnostic and research sector, guys. Anyway, so I think I just saw Pac Bio. So this is the 1 day performance of the stock market, guys. I mean, okay, so let's just skip it. Anyway, so you guys can see what's going on right now. Now let's take a look at the 1 month performance. I think there is a possibility that this month is going to turn green. Okay, we have all these Chinese stocks already, they have more or less turned green. And Apple is down about minus 9.7%. This month Tesla is down minus 13% this month. I mean, there is a possibility that all these are going to turn green, towards the end of the month. If you take a look at the one week performance, for example, it's more or less going to, in my opinion, let's see what's going to happen tomorrow in the market, and on Friday also in the market. Okay, because I think there's a possibility that we are going to, close green this week. Energy sector is more or less suffering heavily right now, because they have rallied massively since the beginning of the year. Okay, year to date, if you go to year to date, you can say that energy sector more or less, Occidental Petroleum, for example, that I am monitoring very close, is up about 114% year to date, guys. So now, once again, this right here is the highlight of the opening statement from Jay Powell, okay, the Fed chairman. Consumption spending remained strong. Housing is slowing. Labor market has remained extremely tight. Wage growth is elevated. He also notes that projections for unemployment over the next 2 years have moved up. And then he said pace of hikes will depend on incoming data. And then he said he doesn't expect 75 basis point moves to be common. And also, either 50 or 75 basis points seems most likely at next meeting. And then Powell put both 50 and 75 basis points on the table for next meeting. The market is pricing in 75 basis points at that meeting, and which of course is going to be on the 26th to 27th of July. So guys, watch out. I mean, those are the dates that I believe is going to be, very important next month. Apart from the CPI data, 26 and 27 is when, the Fed is going to decide the next interest rate hike. Now, Bionano Genomics closed about 1.4% today, close at 1.43 US dollars. Look at that. The volume is more or less, the volume and the average volume is more or less the same thing today. I mean, the volume is even a little bit higher than the average volume. And during the live stream, I spoke about, what is presently going on with insider trading, because we have some filings. Okay, we have some new filings from the board members of Bionano Genomics. If you go to SEC filings, you can see that we have about 7 filings. Okay, they were granted, the option to buy about 164,000 shares each of Bionano Genomics, and I believe that is very good for the company. Okay, I mean, this is going to, more or less increase the confidence that, we retail investors, for example, have in the company. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so we have 8 filings right here, and they are all, board members. Let's check out only one, and then we can more or less end the video. Now, this is the filing right here, 164,000 shares, as you guys can see. Stock option rights to buy at 1.62 US dollars. I think I made a post about this yesterday, and so yeah. Now, to talk a little bit about the price action of Bngo, so that we can finally more or less end the video, let's quickly take a look at the price action of Bionano Genomics. Okay, what happened today during that Fed meeting, and what we should expect, okay, going forward tomorrow and on Friday. Okay, so 143 US dollars. I think this is not correct. This is not correct, guys. Let's go to the dailies. Okay, the dailies. So we close at 143 US dollars. As you guys can see, it is green. Okay, Monday and Tuesday, was red, and then today, Wednesday, we close green. My Yahoo Finance is extremely slow, guy. I don't know why Yahoo Finance is so slow. I made this I'm trying to show the 1 hour chart so that we can at least talk a little bit. So you guys can see that, we were consolidating in this channel, okay, since Monday. After we opened lower on Monday, because of the, FOMC meeting, like I already, spoke about this during the weekend, that you guys should expect what is gonna happen this week. And you guys can see on Monday we opened with a cap, down, and then we started to consolidate since Monday. But today we broke out of this channel a little bit, Then the price, came back more or less down and closed in the channel. So let's see what's gonna happen tomorrow. I think there's a possibility that a bottom is in around this level, and yeah, so that is something positive. Okay, that's something positive. See you guys in the next one. Remember to smash the like button before you leave and consider becoming a member of the channel. That is where I talk about BNGO almost, I mean, almost anytime I spot something, I share it with the channel member. So consider becoming channel members because it costs about 99 cents. And if not, just enjoy my videos, my free videos, of course, every day on a daily basis. I remember your boy Dayo. See you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao.